You're selling your house and you're like, what the heck do I do to get this house ready? Well, let's talk about that. It's pretty simple. I'm Casey Jenkins with Oak Realty, and when you're looking at getting your house ready, there's things you want to look at like painting, flooring, little things like light switches and plugs, as well as the big things like you want to look at your crawl space in your attic and your roof and your HVAC and make sure all those are good. So when you're thinking about selling, the first thing we look at is the cosmetics. What does it look like? Are your walls torn up and need to be painted? Are your light switches, beige and your light switch covers are white? Well, we need to change all those to white. Same thing goes with your plugs. Are your plugs all painted because you painted the room pink and your kid helped you? And of course your kid doesn't know to paint around the plug. They just painted over it. Do we need to change the plug out and make it to a new plug? Because those things matter. You don't see them as a homeowner because we live there. It's something that just goes in the background, but a buyer's going to see them. And when a buyer sees those things, a buyer goes, they didn't take care of that plug. What else didn't they take care of? And then they start getting nervous and they run for the hills. And that's not what we want. The next thing we want to look at are the big things. So have you been in your crawl space in the last year or two? Do you know what's going on down there? Here in Richmond, fungus is a thing. It happens. There's no real way to get around it. And so do we need to look and see if we need to do a fungus treatment before we even get to home inspection so that we have a clean home inspection? Or do we need to go, hey, yeah, we know it's down there and we'll fix it when we get to home inspection? The same thing with your roof, the same thing with your HVAC, the same thing with your water heater. We want to know what are the ages of those and are we on their last legs so that we know when we put it on the market, here's things we need to expect coming to us, or do we go ahead and get those fixed and then put it on the market after they're all fixed and ready to go? Because an older roof, if it's not leaking, is not a defect that a buyer can ask for. However, if the buyer doesn't have a ton of cash and the roof's going to be over and needs to be replaced in the next 2 years, a buyer might go, hey guys, unless you replace the roof, I'm out because I can't afford that roof in a couple years. So these are all things to talk about when we're getting prepped. And a lot of times an agent will have you do a full home inspection, which is fantastic to give you an idea of here's everything that's going to come up. What do we want to fix? The other option is if we know the bones of the house inside are good to go and we know things like the HVAC and maybe the water heater are new, but we haven't been in the crawl space in the attic, we can get a home inspector in there to just look at those two and go, you're good, or these are the things you need to fix. Which is what we just did out in Powhatan for a house. We got our home inspector in, took a look at the crawl, and he was like, hey, here's your list of 4 things you need to get fixed to make that crawl space look great. And so those are things that you do to prep the house. Everybody always thinks of walls and floors and all the pretties, which is great, but you need to go nitty gritty because you're going to have a home inspection and we don't want to be surprised, or we want to be able to go, yep, we fixed that. Here's the receipt. We did it 2 days ago. And that just gives the buyer a peace of mind as well, that they know you've taken care of some of the big stuff before they've even stepped foot in that house. So if you've got more questions on how to prep, you want somebody to come look around and see all the different spots and go, what would you do? Give me a call, shoot me a text. Love to do that. And don't forget to like and subscribe.